Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome back to another episode of Voice of Youth. Today itself, we are going to be having a short episode because I wanted to simply talk about one topic, one change I've seen over the past few years, over actually for my whole growing up and everything, and something I'm sure that might bring in change, developments in other aspects of Sikhism, of our life and everything. So the topic itself today is there a sitting side for men and women in the Gurudwara or any other religious procession itself? So when you go to the Gurudwara itself, you generally see men and women on two different sides, and especially if you were someone going there for your first time, or if you're bringing a friend or just kind of explaining Sikhism to someone, you take a photo of it in the Gurudwara, the Darbar itself, and they see that, someone sees that and they ask you, why is there a divide between the genders? I'm here to kind of explain that reasoning. I'm sure a lot of you out there already know, but what's interesting is that this isn't a Sikhi-based practice. This is a social, cultural kind of one, which has been brought in. It's the reasoning why is that division is so no one feels uncomfortable mixing with the opposite gender. But for a long time now, you've been able to see people mixing it up. You can sit with your family, you can sit with your friends, or you can just sit generally on whichever side you want. It also depends on whichever side the kirtani is, because that also varies depending on location. And from what I've researched, there is no set sitting side. As long as you can face the Sangat, or as long as you can face the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, you can sit on a tabia, you can sit on the floor. I've seen many different variations of it itself. But focusing on the sitting sides itself, anyone can sit everywhere and anywhere. The reasoning why there is that division, like I said, is because of the social, cultural kind of aspects which have been brought in and make everyone feel comfortable. But we've seen that been changing for a long time now, at least here in Australia itself. I've seen it change. I remember for a long time now when these Gurudwaras that are so big now and everything, they used to be smaller, and like sometimes used to be houses that you have programs at. And it was kind of like the whole community kind of just mixes together and everything like that. And maybe that was kind of a kicking off point, at least for here, in kind of just making sure that, or starting the idea that, you don't have to sit on a set side. You can just mix in and do what you want. As long as you do feel comfortable, because some people out there will feel uncomfortable, being with so many people in such a close proximity and everything like that. Maybe they like the space of being on the side where the kirtanis aren't, or maybe they just prefer sitting away from the opposite gender. And honestly, if you believe that, that's fine, that's up to you. But then it's also good to ensure that people know that this isn't a Sikhi-based practice. Sikhism doesn't tell us that we have to sit on a specific side based on our sex and everything. And here's an interesting thing, because when I went to Google about this topic read up a bit about it, I saw other people's opinions, and some people have said that they're being raised with this idea that you should sit on a specific side, that you have to keep this going. And that's once again bringing in this social kind of cultural aspect of it. It depends on where you currently are. I'm sure your living area, situation, or anything like that may help change the practices you have, because when you are in a different area, slight variations occur of everything you do and believe compared to other areas, and that's a reality of life. So maybe you want to instigate that change, and hopefully you can. Hopefully you can bring up examples like I've just said here in Melbourne. At least we are doing that kind of stuff. We have these, you don't have to sit on a specific side. Sit where you feel comfortable, sit where you want to. And ultimately that's the main thing. You can then take that and bring it to your community or raise it up and try to instigate that change if you want. But once again, that's the reasoning behind it. It's all these social and cultural values. So with that said, I just wanted to quickly inform you about that, kind of help bring out that topic, make you think about it at least, so that way if someone brings it up, you have a response to give. Or maybe also make you think about any other practices which you believe are social or cultural in origin and that have been weaved into your practice as a Sikh, and that you're wondering, oh, why do I do this? Or why does Sikhism tell me to do this? Is that a reality of it, or is that something which has been passed on from cultural or social practices? Make sure you leave a comment down below sharing any ideas which you may have. I'd love to talk about this more in the future itself. But ultimately, I hope you have enjoyed this quick little chat, this quick little share of information regarding why there are designated sitting areas, I should say with that, in Gurudwara than other areas itself. Please share the episode around and stay tuned for more episodes as we try to pick out what we can and plan out what we can to talk about in Voice of Youth itself. So, thank you. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.